And after that amazing moment in Atlanta, we move it north to Charlottesville, Virginia to see one of the best teams in the country. Undefeated number 9 Virginia on College Football Primetime, presented by Cooper Tires. From the campus Thomas Jefferson founded, taking on Clemson. So far, so good for Virginia. Led by an alum who made his name in the NFL, the Cavs are positioned for an ACC run. They're on the way to 4-0. With star linebacker Ahmad Brooks leading a great linebacking core, Virginia's in the top 10 for the first time in 6 years. Clemson finished last season with 2 wins over top 10 teams, and expectations were high for 2004, but Tommy Bowden's bunches turned it into a nightmare season. Too many turnovers. Quarterback Charlie Whitehurst has to protect the ball tonight if Clemson wants to pull off another top 10 upset. Live in Charlottesville. Virginia in the top 10 for the first time since '98. Buoyed by a sellout crowd here at Scott Stadium, takes on Clemson. College Football Primetime presented by Cooper Tires. Available on ESPN HD. Thanks to Best Buy and Phillips. Hi, folks. Jill Arrington's on the sideline. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. What a finish to the Braves-Astros game. I think we may have a good game here tonight. Question about this whole weekend. Who are the best teams in the country? Virginia wants to know if they're part of that argument or not.
Well, one thing we know, Virginia is undefeated. They're ranked in the top 10. We don't know really how good they are and if they're for real because their opponents are 7-13. They haven't beaten a lot of good football teams. Now, Clemson on the other side has lost 2 big games at Texas A&M, at Florida State. They will not be intimidated here. Also, the fact that Clemson has beaten these guys 2 times in a row. They got to be kind of confident coming in here.
Well, I think they're confident if they could go back to last year. Remember how Clemson finished 4 big wins. All of a sudden, Tommy Bowden goes from being a GOAT to a hero, and Charlie Whitehurst caught fire. Charlie Whitehurst returning this year along with 16 other starters allowed a lot of people to think that Clemson might be a team to look out for, but so far this year they've self-destructed. They're 1-3, 14 turnovers on the year. Tonight, though, they're looking to turn their season around against a big win against a great Virginia team.
Clemson questioning itself. Virginia thinks it's good. They're going to start finding out how good because their schedule turns tough starting tonight. Clemson and Virginia. College Football Primetime from the ACC kicks off right after
this. ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Taco Bell, home of the Big Bell Value Menu, Nike, and the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
It is a beautiful campus here. The rotunda you saw at the top, the Thomas Jefferson statue. Charlottesville, Virginia, 120 miles from Washington, D.C. Folks, they believe in the Cavaliers here. Joint is jumping. Students were out early this morning to get the first seats when the gates opened. It's a sea of orange here tonight. Virginia won the toss, deferred the option to the second half. That means Clemson receives, and that means a man who set an NCAA record last time he played, Justin Miller, could touch the ball, 282 yards, and equaled the NCAA record with 2 touchdowns. Virginia's head coach Al Groh told us yesterday, we're going to kick to him. We believe we cover kicks well enough, so Connor Hughes and Kirk Smith, the specialist, will have that job tonight. Smith kicks off, and off we go on College Football Thursday. It is a deep kick. No chance for Miller to touch it. That's why they're confident in it. Drive starts from the 20. Charlie Whitehurst is the quarterback for Clemson. He's a junior. His dad, David, played for the Green Bay Packers, started for a year, and played for 6 years, but then had a bad season after he started. He threw a lot of interceptions, about 15. He was replaced by Lynn Dickey. So he can best explain to his son what's going on right now. Charlie Whitehurst has turned the ball over 13 times in the last 4 games. Told us this week, I'm letting some of the guys down. So Whitehurst carries a lot of the pressure here tonight. Opening drive from the 20, a run Dwayne Coleman. That's about 5.5 yards, and they're very happy to get that against this Virginia defense. Why don't we introduce you to the Clemson starters on the Bud Light starting lineups. Coleman had a broken foot preseason. He's back in there. A lot of 3 receivers with Chancey Stuckey, Aries Curry, and Curtis Bayham. The tight end is Ben Hall. Up front, if you want to watch somebody, 79, Barry Richardson, true freshman. He's the question guy at the left tackle spot. I don't know if you've seen Clemson a bunch, you've seen this, it's going to happen. They get up to the line, look over to the coaching staff, and adjust the plays.
Something interesting here very early. Just Clemson, a spread team, going to the 2 tight end look here these first couple plays against the 3-4 Virginia.
Clemson runs it with Coleman, stopped a couple of yards shy of a first down. This Virginia defense has only allowed 12 points per game in their first 4. They play a 3-4, but they miss Chris Canty, one of their best defensive linemen, out for the season. The heart of the team is replaced by Kwaku Robinson on the right with Schmidt and Hoffman. The linebackers, they're great. Haley's good. Parham's a big thumper. Brooks may be the best in the country. Blackstock is awesome on the edge. They're so good. If they got a question, it's back here. Hamilton and Franklin on the corners, 2 sophomores. Hardy and Weeks, the 2 senior safeties. Nobody's really throwing it on them yet this year. 3rd and 1. Second back through Coleman. First down and more. Out to the 38-yard line. His fullback, Steven Jackson, blocked. Give him 9 yards, and Clemson moves the chains. Clemson's head coach is Tommy Bowden, as of course you know, the son of the winningest coach in college football history, Bobby Bowden. He was called son of a few other things when his Clemson team was 4-4 last year, but boy, did they rally. They not only won their last 4 games, he beat his daddy, beaten Florida State, probably saved his job, demolished in-state South Carolina 63-17, and then beat another top 10 team, Tennessee, in the Peach Bowl. They're feeling the heat now with a 1-3 start, but it's been all the turnovers. First pass, Whitehurst down the middle for the tight end. Brought in by Ben Hall. Off to the races. Ben Hall, first and goal at the 5. 57 yards, longest pass play of the season for Clemson.
One of the things Clemson wanted to try to do in this football game is try to take advantage of Virginia playing a lot of cover 2. They're going to slide the tight end vertically. All the success here in these first few plays of running, suck the linebackers in, and then go to Ben Hall right behind the linebacker against those 2 safeties who are wide to the hashes. Great throw by Whitehurst.
And we asked yesterday if they were to stay in that cover 2 because that's the weakness right up the middle. Boy, Clemson drilled a beautiful play in that play.
First and goal, they run Coleman. He gets down to about the 5-yard line. It's a Virginia team that's only trailed for about 3 minutes thus far this season.
And one of the things we talked about Tommy Bowden in our meeting yesterday was to come out smoking. Look, they're big underdogs, right? You're 1-3, right? Why don't you sit around, run the ball, throw the play action, go deep. Perfect start for Clemson with play calling.
Especially Clemson, a team that feeds off of success. Very important to finish this drive after a few big plays here.
Yusef Kelly is in the game. Out of the shotgun is Whitehurst. And we'll have to take a timeout down here.
I don't know, maybe I coached too many years ago, but I don't like that sitting around waiting. Get in a huddle, get the play, and get over, right?
We'll have plenty of time to talk about that tonight.
I don't like that.
Clemson knocking on the door. Opening drive here in Charlottesville.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by Saturn. People first.
So glad to have you back on the Virginia campus this night with the temperature starting in the 60s. A perfect day, and what a beautiful campus to hang out on, too. You agree, I guess, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
I love it here. Yeah.
That Thomas Jefferson knew exactly what he was doing when he founded this place.
Kurt Smith's kickoff. Returnable this time, but it was put on the ground. Still Justin Miller breaks free. Miller trying to get the edge. They have the angle on him, and he's pulled down. They're really out at the 47-yard line. So the man who returned 2 against Florida State dropped it, but almost brought it back a long way. 43-yard return. Well, last year, these teams had a terrific game down in Death Valley. Yusef Kelly pounded through to put Clemson back on top. Virginia responded to even the game at 24 with Alvin Pierman. It went to overtime after an exchange of field goals, a controversial touchdown catch, able to win the game 30-27 as Kevin Youngblood hauled it in. It was controversial, but Virginia didn't really complain too much because they won a game a couple years before on exactly the same play. A little miscommunication there as Whitehurst spun one way, the running back was coming the other. To pick up a couple of yards there for Yusuf Kelly, the graduate student who hasn't played in the last couple. We talk about the dominance of this series. Again, 29 in a row at the start. Clemson beat Virginia, including a couple of ranked Cavalier teams. Since then, it has been more even, with Virginia getting better at play for the last 6. Pick up in 1 second and 9. After this play, we're going to talk about what they do offensively. The fake by Whitehurst, incomplete. Intended for Curtis Boeheim. Kurt, tell me as a quarterback and Lee as a coach about the process of getting the play, coming to the line, and looking at the sideline to adjust it.
Well, Steve Spurrier's the coach in the college ranks who brought this into fashion, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, where he'd have his quarterback break the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage, look like he's about to snap the ball, and then look over to his coach to get the confirmation of do we want to go with it or not, and they'll mix it up from time to time. See, there it is again, this time looking over, trying to get a sign, to get a feel for what they want to do to get the signal based on the coverage that they're seeing.
I don't like it because I think it takes away all the momentum of the offensive football team. Single in and go.
Shovel pass, 3rd and 9. Aries Curry stopped shy of the first down at the 49-yard line. I guess the thinking is the coach who does all the film work has been around for years. He's going to read the defense better than the quarterback will.
Well, what did he do there? He read that
it's not the total thinking. It's the foundation for the thought.
It is the foundation. The guy from Virginia made a play. I agree with your point about tempo. I think there are a lot of quarterbacks that like to get in and out of the huddle, go sometimes on the first sound, try to create a little bit of tempo to the offense. It's tough to do that when you're looking over, waiting for the signal.
Cole chasing as the punter. Alvin Pierman is the punt return man. Perfect snap. Ball turns over. Fair caught at the 8. Game day will be in Southern California in advance of the Cal-USC game. You have Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Wisconsin. The schedule is dotted with great ones this week.
Outside of rivalry Saturday, this is by far the best weekend of the year for college football.
1st and 10, Virginia taking over from its own 9. And Hagens throws to an open Alvin Pierman down the sideline. First out of bounds at the 37. Give him 28 till Travis Pugh knocked him away.
Well, Pierman's a guy that they can move around. This time he was lined up kind of as an H-back. And they just slid him to the outside, and when he went out there, Billy was not able to stay with him. When we talk to these coaches from Virginia about the depth of their backfield, each guy brings something a little bit different to the table. Pierman, he lined up at wide receiver last week, so they love to use him in different ways and love his versatility.
They'll try the fullback this time, and just a couple of yards for Snelling before 2nd and 8. Here's Jill Arrington.
Well, guys, at 1-3 coming off an off week, Clemson knows they need to turn things around quick. So Coach gave his players these T-shirts. It says, the second season, it starts tonight. That's how they look at their year. It's time to start things over, forget about the first games, and get it together tonight.
It is kind of a line in the sand moment for them. They had the off week to deal with it as well. And to his credit, Tommy Bowden said, we may be better. Our perception of our accomplishment is skewed by the turnovers. When you turn it over and you're minus 12 in that ratio, you can't really get a sense if your defense is good. They've been on the field in a lot of sudden change situations. 2nd down pass, kind of thrown over the head of Pierman, who was well covered by Eric Sampson.
Also remember one thing, Clemson has played good football teams. They lost to Texas A&M at Texas A&M, Florida State at Florida State. Now, Virginia's football team, the combined records of the team they've beaten, 7 wins, 13 losses. I'll bet you if Clemson stayed the same schedule that Virginia did, they might be undefeated. There's not that much difference in these two football teams.
Al Groh, the Virginia head coach, knows that. He says, I think we have a good team. I don't know if we have a championship team, a team that can win 9 games. I'm not sure. We'll find out more tonight for sure. Pressure on. Higgins, there it is, brought down. When we did the Under Armour advantage at the top of the game, Kirk talked about the athletes. And when we talked about Leroy Hill, Al Groh said, I'd like to have that linebacker on my side. You saw both of those in that play.
You get a chance to see the athletic ability, but they brought a corner. This time the pressure's going to come here, but it frees up Hill to get in there to come up with a sack, because this is about speed. Watch right there, the back had to take the corner, and Leroy Hill used all his momentum, and Higgins that time didn't have any room to be able to get out of there get away from the trouble.
Loss of 12. Sean Johnson's the punter. High kick, not very deep. Chancey Stuckey returning punts, gets it at the 36. He can pick up the wall here. He got to it. Midfield with one more block and out to the 42-yard line. Justin Miller did a great job on kickoff returns. Hasn't done a good job of holding on to punt returns. So they put Stuckey in there. He took a 37-yard punt back, 22 yards.
They played 4 football games, and that's only the second punt return against that good Virginia special teams on punt coverage. Only the second one.
They don't know how to do it. The only chance they get to do it is in practice. They were all grouped into the middle.
Yeah.
And he almost didn't need a block to be able to get to the outside there. Stuckey's got great quickness. They love to try to get him the football in space. As a receiver, former quarterback.
So great field position for Clemson. And Whitehurst will go play action. And down the middle for Hall again. Almost a spectacular grab. So very similar to the big play that Hall brought 56 yards in the first drive.
Remember when they hit him, Mike, you said it, off of the play-action fake. This time, watch him try to slow him at the line of scrimmage. You see that? A safety got just enough of his jersey. Actually, it was Blackstock got just enough of his jersey there to slow him down and not allow him to get up into that vacant zone.
Actually, it was a poor pass. If it had been a good pass, that would have been a very good completion.
Steven Jackson's the fullback with Wayne Coleman. He leads the way for Coleman, who hits the hole hard and gets out to the 36-yard line. Coleman's a junior out of Naples, Florida. He's probably their best all-around back. They started everybody. They started Kyle Browning, Reggie Merriweather started, Yusef Kelly, and now Coleman. He would have started earlier in the season, but he busted up his foot in preseason. Last year, 615 rushes and 309 receiving yards. He gives them the best chance to win at that position. And he's back as healthy as he has been all year here tonight.
And remember, Al Groh, the head football coach of Virginia, calls third and long defenses. This is his defensive call right now.
Leading to get to the 32, run Coleman stops. Brennan Schmidt, the defensive end, helped make the play that will force Clemson into a decision. From here, the field goal will be 53 yards. That's a little bit on the back end of their range.
I would try to punt the ball. I would try to punt the ball back into the area and try to cause a turnover. I don't think if you go for 4th down here, what you give up is too many yards of field position against this Virginia football team.
He called Charlie Whitehurst over there. He's going to walk over to the official and I guess call timeout when he's ready.
Yeah, the thing is, with a lead early, considering you're such a big underdog, field position becomes big, even though it's still in the first quarter.
Especially if you're playing, they're playing pretty well defensively, Clemson. They got a nice blitz package.
Well, step out for a minute. 2:10 left in a good opening quarter here in Charlottesville. Fourth down, they go for it and pick it up with Aries Curry, a first down at the 30-yard line. So an interesting decision after the timeout. Tommy Bowden chooses to go for it, and they pick it up with their senior wide receiver.
I didn't agree with that call, but I tell you, it was unbelievable execution there by Curry. He gets just enough yardage to get the first down with a nice pass. I didn't like the call, but I sure like the results.
And from the 30, Whitehurst just throws a little out. That is on the ground. Was it a completed pass? Incomplete. Incomplete. The 2 officials were waiting to see if Curry ever had possession. Tony Franklin knocked it out of his hands. Wow is right. It was close.
This guy, Tony Franklin, from where you guys are from, Cleveland, Ohio. Good-looking Ohio football player. Come up and knock that guy down. That's the way they play football in Cleveland.
Came up and stuck him. It was close. You know, it was one of those where it could go either way. But Clemson gets the football and looking back over to the coach to find out the call.
Well, there you see the graphic. It's the story of their season. Turnovers, and that would have been a backbreaker right after you pick up a 4th and 7. They're able to retain possession here in the last 100 seconds of the second quarter. Whitehurst, who's not the most mobile person in the history of quarterbacking, but can do enough to get by, gets 8 yards there. Well, 3rd and a few coming up. Dennis Haley had an arm on Whitehurst. Couldn't pull him down, and he comes out. And may have hurt himself a little bit. He sure did.
Right now, Mike O'Kane, the offensive coordinator, mixing in a lot of different looks with their, not only the personnel groupings, but also the formations, just trying to see how Virginia is going to respond to it. They've had some success moving the football.
A run with Coleman, he's stopped. That's the man we featured at the top, Ahmad Brooks. He is as good a sophomore as you're going to find. Top tackler on this team.
Let's put it this way. He's 6'4", 249. He runs like about 205 pounds. Watch him scrape. Scraping means when you take a lineman to take away all the blockers and you come around and make the play. Wow. Ahmad Brooks. Whew, he not only looks like a football player, he is one.
I think he's up to close to 260, and he still runs. He runs like a safety.
43-yard attempt. Jad Dean hooks it in. It's good. And Clemson, by virtue of the decision and the execution on 4th down, keeps the drive alive and takes a 10-3 lead. Well, Dean won the job from Stephen Furr before the Florida State game because he has a bigger leg. This is his first field goal attempt and make. Good job. That's why you won the job, kid. Sophomore out of Greenwood, South Carolina, knocked it. Well, before the kickoff, let me remind you that ESPN's coverage of the Major League Baseball Division Series, presented by Budweiser, continues tomorrow with 2. How frank are they going to be at Fenway? Happy Hour Friday, and the Sox going for the sweep of the Angels at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. If you think that atmosphere is good, wait till they bring out the Homer Hankies at the Metrodome. Pivotal Game 3, series all tied at 1. Yankees and the Twins. They hunted for October, and they've got there. They want to stay. The MLB Division Series continues on ESPN tomorrow. And, of course, Carl Ravitch and the rest of the Baseball Tonight crew. They're there before games, after games, doing a great job.
That group works more than college game guys. They're on morning, noon, night.
They're also 12 months a year.
Holy mackerel, those guys work hard.
Hot stove, spring training.
You don't realize how good they
HR.
Oh, they really.
Harold's all. I see Harold all year.
Congratulations to our buddy John Kruk as well. Became a dad earlier today. Heard Carl say that on Baseball Tonight this afternoon. Well, you see the Cavaliers, they've been in the lead almost all year. Just 3 minutes of the first 4 games, but they have trailed from the 11:50-49 mark here in this opening quarter. Yeah, Dean kicks it off. It will be Michael Johnson again. That's the speedster. It is knocked down essentially by his own man, but it was because of the push by Nigel Vaughn. He's brought down inside the 20. Marcus Hagans took over the big shoes of Matt Schaub, and the guy right behind him in the offense tells us what kind of leadership that Marcus Hagans has brought.
He does.
He is 5'10", thick but small. First down carry, just a couple of yards for the man you heard talking there. Wally Lundy was brought down by a mountain of a man in 275-pound Trey Ting. We'll talk more about Hagans and why his development is so important for this team, and how he plays tonight will be a good barometer for how good this 4-0 number 9 Virginia team is. 15 minutes in the books in Charlottesville. An exchange of field goals at the back end. The only touchdown, that 5-yarder, Charlie Whitehurst to his running back, Dwayne Coleman. After 1 at Virginia. Clemson on top by 7. We welcome you back to the Carl Smith Center, home of David A. Harrison III Field at Scott Stadium. I hope they don't have any more big-name alums with a lot of money, because what are they going to name after him, the goalpost? I mean, everything is named here. It's a beautiful facility. Virginia dominant in the first, outscored by 7, trailing by 7. As a second down, Marcus Hagan's boot is put up for grabs and out of bounds and incomplete. Will be third down coming up.
Before that play, Higgins, who's the #1 player in the nation, averaging 10.6 per play, was averaging 10.4 per play. And that includes that sack. The guy is really mobile, but I think he's got a stronger arm than I saw in the tapes.
Well, he's coming off a game against Syracuse where he was 11 of 12 for over 200 yards and a touchdown, and he ran for 81 yards. So every single time he has the ball in his hands, he's capable of making something happen. But give Clemson credit in the early going. Their outside linebackers and corners are coming up and putting a lot of pressure on Higgins. He's gotten free a few times, but not compared to these first 4 games.
Michael McGrew, the senior receiver, in motion on 3rd and 8. Pressure up the middle forces Higgins to dance.
You got to keep him in there.
He gets out of it. Now lobs one. It is brought down by Heath Miller, the great tight end at the 33. And the ability to keep alive a play. 12 yards. First down.
It's effortless. I mean, he gets back there and he is so calm. For a guy who's, coming into this situation and trying to just make something happen, 3rd and long, you think he's going to try to maybe cut back inside, but it's his athletic ability that keeps the play alive and finally finds one of his favorite targets in Miller.
My favorite. Everybody's favorite. 6'5", 255, but watch the hands now. The soft hands right there of Miller. Boy, I just love that guy. He's a great tight end prospect.
A first down run with Wally Lundy takes it out to the 37-yard line. Guys, great replay from the truck, too. You talk about as a quarterback, especially an Ohio State quarterback, you can appreciate the tight end working for his quarterback. That was the definition of a tight end working for his quarterback.
And the quarterback working for his tight end because he bought so much time. But you're right, and that's one of the things that over time they're going to get even better and better, but they're already in sync. But how about the timing there? You're right, the hands, little touchdown. We're obviously going to see Heath Miller in the NFL down the road. And Mike, you said it, best tight end in college football.
Caught 70 balls last year. Those offensive linemen pull and move for Lundy. Snuck it underneath to the 39-yard line. Boy, their offensive line is very athletic, Kirk, aren't they?
Lee, that's usually your job, kicking an offensive lineman when you get excited. But we watched tape yesterday and watching Virginia and watching them tonight. I love to watch their linemen because they're athletic. These guys, they said when they recruit offensive linemen, they're looking for a guy that's 250 to 260 pounds, and then they turn into 295 pounds. Look at the experience that this group has. But if you want to watch them, watch how they pull. Even the center, Yarborough will pull on counters and misdirection plays.
3rd and 4 here. Out of the shotgun. Clemson brings the heat, and Wally Lundy takes that open space and is off to the races. The 46-yard line, right from where the pressure came. Lundy went. Pick up a 15, and Brad Butler made the block out there for him.
There's Butler, the right tackle, number 69. He's going to get out there and lead the way. Clemson decides to blitz, and once they blitz and he gets the ball off, look at the athlete. Look at the right tackle. 296 pounds going up against Ty Hill. Ty Hill came off the block, but it's just impressive to see a guy get downfield 20 or 30 yards.
I like the call very much. That was a hot rule, which means if they blitz the corner or the strong safety, a little dunk pass. That was a great call there by Ron Prince, the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator.
From the 46, Lundy stretches it to the left. He has good vision. Saw that little crease. First down, 32. Good stuff there. Heath Miller, the tight end, to Berkishaw Ferguson, the left tackle block. Pick up a 15. The Virginia team that has defeated Temple, North Carolina, Akron, and then Syracuse to get to 4-0. Clemson beat Wake Forest in double overtime down in Death Valley, then lost to Georgia Tech. Disastrous loss. I mean, they gave up 3 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes of that game. They had it won 3 different times. Georgia Tech won it. Then they lost to Texas A&M and lost to Florida State 41-22. They're playing with a little desperation and on the ropes tonight because Clemson has to win 5 of its final 7 games to be bowl eligible. From the 31, Marcus Higgins. This is incomplete, intended for Tony Santi, a true freshman, the 3rd tight end. He's out of Nashville, and all the recruiting services thought he was a big shot coming out of the prep ranks.
That's the area that Al Groh has been able to come into Charlottesville and right away make a statement. The recruiting efforts in these last 4 years by Al Groh and his staff, they have been able to come into this state where Frank Beamer has virtually owned the state for the last probably 8 or 9 years, and it has come in not only to Virginia but into the Carolinas and really showing that there's another school to go to, and it's in Charlottesville, Virginia.
2nd and 10, Lundy. We'll stretch it across the 30-yard line. We'll have 3rd and about 7 coming up. David Dunham, much improved linebacker, was in there on the play. Well, Al Groh was a coach at Wake Forest, has a lot of college coaching in his background, really became a known commodity to many football fans by spending a decade at 3 different places with Bill Parcells, defensive guru for those Giants and Patriots teams, was the head coach of the Jets in 2000, won 9 games, then came back here to his alma mater and has taken them to 2 very successful back-to-back seasons. 3rd and 9. Little man on the run. There goes Higgins. Brought down across the 25-yard line by Donnell Clark. A nice job by some defenders here from Clemson. It's going to force another field goal attempt.
And Kirk talked about it in a pregame show about the speed. It's obviously one thing. Clemson's got a lot more speed, and all 4 of those teams that Virginia's beaten together.
Combined,
I mean, they can run. That play right there, probably North Carolina guy would have never caught him.
No.
Clemson guy, bang.
They're running. As a group, they're running to the football well.
43-yard attempt for Connor Hughes, the junior out of Williamsburg, Virginia. Big leg. Good kick. Clemson's defense has done a nice job twice of forcing Virginia to field goal attempts. They're on their feet for another field goal here in Charlottesville. Clemson still leads by 4. They're enjoying themselves here in Charlottesville. Their team's in the top 10 for the first time since 1998. Well, Justin Miller dropped the last kickoff, then picked it up and brought it back with a good return. 5 career kickoff returns for touchdown, 2 against Florida State, 43 to the good thus far tonight. See if Kirk Smith can kick it back too far to bring it back. Nope, they'll take that one out from a couple yards deep. Oh, he thought about it. And they get him. At the 20, well covered. Alvin Pierman, who's doing so much, very versatile on this team. We'll tune into Classic for the first ever live sporting event on that network. From the 20, how about a little reverse to start the drive? How about a good play from Clemson, from Virginia's defense? A loss of 3 as they put it in the belly of Chancey Stuckey. And Melvin Massey made the play. Well, Charlie Whitehurst, the quarterback, his interception to touchdown ratio was 5 touches for 10 picks. And his dad, David, knows all about the ups and downs of life as a quarterback. I like the old face mask here on David Whitehurst, the former Packer star in the late 70s and early 80s. So he knows all about how tough it is to be a quarterback under pressure. Gives it to Yusuf Kelly there for a couple of yards. And Charlie's dad is in the stands and with Jill Arrington. Jill?
That's right. I'm here with that former Green Bay star. Tell me, what kind of advice have you given your son in handling a frustrating start to the season?
Well, quite honestly, we don't talk a whole lot about how the season's gone. We try to get his last week and our off week. We went to see Furman play. I think he's done a better job of handling than I have. Some of the things just bounce right off of him. He's getting a little too much credit for the success and maybe a little too much blame for the lack of it.
Very typical for a quarterback position. He has a great arm, and we hear about his poise and his character. What do you think his best attributes are as a quarterback?
Well, I think his accuracy, he's a good passer. I think he's got a good mindset from to play the position. I think he gets that from his mom. And you know, I think he's worked really hard at what he tries to do.
All right, well, enjoy your son playing out there. Thanks for talking to us. Back to you guys.
I think Jill just jinxed him, talking to his daddy. Yeah, you know that jinx. Poor kid fell down talking to his dad.
That's not Jill's fault. Come on.
Well, she was talking to him.
David has handled the situation very well, too. Not a meddling dad in dealing with Tommy Bowden and the rest of the Clemson coaches. Here comes the punt from Cole Chasen. Alvin Pierman pushed back to the sideline. That's a very good kick that was well covered. Brought down at the 42. Field position will be pretty good. Nick Watkins made the tackle after a 46-yard punt. We'll see Virginia try to take the lead. The boys will dust off their top 5 because they couldn't shake up a little bit after this week. All that ahead as we continue on College Football Primetime. Starting field position of the night for the Cavaliers. And Marcus Hagan's first down pass intended for Heath Miller is incomplete. Virginia is number 9 in the country. They're 4-0. They're trying to find out where they are, and I think we're going to find out where a lot of teams are in the national scope on this, the best football weekend of the season so far.
I think the 2 best football teams in the nation are USC and Oklahoma. After that, you don't know, but I think Auburn because they beat LSU and Tennessee's number 3, Miami because of the defense, and Texas. I think Texas sneaking around and got a shot at Oklahoma.
I like Georgia up there still at number 3, and I think Miami's deserving of 4, and then I like Auburn to slide up there to number 5. I think Georgia and Auburn could cross each other out possibly as a hope to try to get to the national championship game.
Michael Johnson carried and a big hit laid on him by Maurice Fountain. This Clemson defense is playing very well tonight. Before third down, guys, here are your top 5s.
Well, as I think one thing to keep in mind is if Auburn and Georgia match up coming up, I believe it's November 13th. Down at Auburn, I think Auburn can beat Georgia there, and then I think they'll rematch in Atlanta for the SEC title game, and Georgia will beat Auburn there to win the SEC, but it could cross them both off to get to a national championship game.
3rd and 7 coming up here for a Virginia team that still has to go to Florida State and have Maryland and Miami still to come in here in a brutal November. Pressure on from the corner, couldn't get there, and the pass is caught by Deion Williams for a first down.
Deion Williams mentioned a great route here, but to tell you the truth, this pass, Kirk, was the best pass that Marcus Higgins has thrown all night. He stepped back in his back with his foot. Now watch him here now, Kirk. That ball is going before the ball is even coming out. Boy, I like that pattern.
That was close from the right hash all the way over as about a 12 to 15-yard outcut to the boundary. That gives you an idea and an indication how strong his arm is.
Michael Johnson, the speedy running back. He is stopped for no gain. Travis Pugh, the free safety. He's the quarterback back there, 29 in the white and orange, lines him up. There's a little fearlessness in his game. From a small town in South Carolina, Manning, and when he went to visit that beautiful campus at Clemson, he said, I felt right at home. Nice small town, and he looks right at home at that free safety spot.
I know we're only halfway through, well, a little bit, getting close to halftime here, but let me just say this. Isn't it amazing what happens when you put Clemson on national TV and primetime audience, how much effort they give so far? I mean, these guys look like a different defense right now compared to some of the other games they played.
You saw John Lovett, their defensive coordinator, doing a nice job, and his players are as well. That pass is knocked down. It's going to set up a 3rd down coming up. And both ends, Charles Bennett, Maurice Fountain have done the job here tonight. John
Lovett used to be the defensive coordinator at Auburn from 99 to 01. It's his 3rd year here. He coaches the defensive backs. And what I like what he's doing, he's bringing those corners from the outside to try to get to Hagan. I think so far Lovett has called a terrific game by keeping the Virginia team off balance.
Clemson has had Virginia in 3rd and long several times, but Higgins a lot of times has made plays with his scrambling and creativity.
This is a defense that's given up a lot of 3rd down conversions as well. Virginia trying to pick up its 6th first down of the night. Heath Miller down the middle. The tight end carries him to the 10. 33 yards.
All right. Kirk, let's talk about this guy, 6'5", 255, Heath Miller. Watch the way he releases off the football with his good speed. Now, Kirk, the hands. I love the guy's hands.
Yeah, he's always had incredible ball skills, but somebody has to touch him off the line of scrimmage on 3rd down, at least slow him down. Look at this free release. Nobody even thought of putting a hand on him, and one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in college football, will say, I'll take that every single time.
It's outside the 10, so it's not 1st and goal. They can pick up a first down at the 1. Lundy at the 5, and down to the 3. Ball came out after he was down. So we're going to have 2nd and about 2 coming up. No fumble. Easy to call. And the correct call.
Now, guys, this is the center. Yarborough pulling out with Elton Brown. Look at center, 75. Unbelievable the way they're able to pull and get out there and make a play.
Yeah, but look at this guy, Miller, number 89, coming right there and blocking. Now see how he turns his body?
Seal.
Boy, is that a nice seal block. Now, that's the same guy who went down in the middle and made that great catch. That's why he's going to be in the National Football League maybe real soon.
Mark Bavaro.
That's what he looks like.
Same number. Al Groh was around Mark Bavaro when he was with the Giants. He was also around Ben Coates when he was with the Patriots, so he knows the value of a good tight end. Oh, which way is Miller going? He's going that way. Can they find him as Higgins rolls out? Almost picked up the touchdown with Miller. Well, he couldn't get around to catch it because he was dizzy. He ran left, he ran right, he ran left, he ran right.
The reason he goes left and then right and then back to the left is because it's difficult for the speed of the Clemson defense, as much as we talk about how they can get out there, to try to get out there and time it up. That ball, if it's thrown in front of Miller, it's an easy touchdown.
The reason why they go with motion, so people know, is that if it's man-for-man coverage, you get your defensive player that's playing you going one way, and you know it the other way, you beat him in a flat.
Guys, Virginia has 209 yards, but 2 field goals. They come up with a third down stop here. They're living right tonight. Third and a couple. Hagan's on the boot. He's got Miller. Big hit. Stretched it out. Touched the pylon. Touchdown.
Great hands, agile, and watch him reach. Ooh, knows exactly where he is and hit the pylon for the touchdown.
Pylon on the edge is in play. Inbounds and works that barrier for the goal line. Heath Miller, ACC record 19 touchdowns. Al Groh loves that. That's why you got a better athlete to make a better play. Strike out the band here in Charlottesville. The Cavaliers are back on top. Heath Miller touchdown has put the home team on top for the first time here tonight. An athletic play he made, too, down by the goal line. Lee's going to show it to you. You appreciate it even more, capping off that 9 and 58 drive. The hill to the left, the hillside, is filled in. Students were here early. Just a supercharged atmosphere here on the campus tonight. Aries Perry and Justin Miller are back to receive. They kicked it to the other side this time, so Perry will bring it back. He has good speed as well. And he's taken down at the 18-yard line. Coach, show us this great athlete at tight end.
Watch number 89, Heath Miller here, as he makes the block and comes out. Now watch him get the ball and switch it from the right hand to the left hand. Yo. Now that is a major league athletic play, Mr. Herbstreit. Major league.
This guy's been doing it for 3 years, and on that drive, Mike, 3 for 3 on third down. They're now 7 of 10. That's why they're able to move the sticks and put points up on the board.
And you know, on those 7, the average length of the conversion, 16.5 yards. So they're making big third down plays in terms of length on the field, not just importance. Clemson trailing for the first time tonight. Yusef Kelly brought down by Kai Parham, and the atmosphere here, Jill, really picking up now.
Absolutely, Orange Fever is catching on quick here. The Cavalier fans are really coming out in big numbers. They're wearing the orange T-shirts. All of this in an effort that Al Groh is trying to create a big football atmosphere. Winning games helps too. The marching band he supported. I mean, who's heard of football without a marching band? Well, they have one now. It used to be a Southern tradition. You know, you dress up in bow ties and dresses to come to games here in the South. But at Virginia now, the ladies are wearing T-shirts with skirts. So they're still ladies, but orange T-shirts in this stadium are filled up.
The atmosphere has improved so much. You're right. 2nd and 12. Run up the middle with Kelly across the 20 out to the 22-yard line.
And I can speak to that because in 1959, 60, and 61, when I was at Maryland as an assistant coach, we used to come in here and nobody would show up. I cannot believe that I am in Virginia. That guy Al Groves and George Welsh, those guys have done a magnificent job here. Started with George Welsh, though.
Well, and it's helped to winning and getting into the top 10. I tell you, I'd come here every Thursday night. Oh, look at this crowd.
3rd down. First down, Aries Curry out to the 39-yard line. Boy, they needed that play, huh? Jermaine Hardy made the stop. Good throw by Whitehurst. Give them 17 on a 3rd down pickup and settle down the orange-clad fans.
One of the things Virginia shows in 1st and 2nd down is pretty basic 3-4 defense cover 2. But when they get to 3rd down, when Al Groh likes to call the package, they bring pressure. Great job of protection. And once they were able to protect the blitz, Charlie Whitehurst had time to throw, and he put it right on the money.
And if you alumni don't like that, you can call up Al Groh.
It's his third down package.
His 3rd down package, right?
His package is very aggressive.
Yeah,
he likes to bring pressure.
Did you see Ahmad Brooks, 34?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. He just blew up that lineman. First down, Whitehurst. The downfield cover was there, so he came underneath to his tight end, Ben Hall, who lost his helmet there as he had a good pickup on 1st down. With 2nd and about 6 coming up. Darryl Blackstock knocked him down.
We always talk about answering, and great teams answer. Well, when you're struggling and you've turned the football over 13 times to the 14, and you're a quarterback, you're off to a pretty good start, and Virginia makes a big comeback,
and the building gets going.
Yep. Now we're going to find out about Clemson.
Miscommunication between Chancey Stuckey and Aries Curry, the wide receivers, and it almost turned into a pick 6 for Marcus Hamilton.
Oh, I don't have to say anymore, but he said, watch this one. Oh. You know what I mean by, oh.
There was confusion. There was confusion everywhere. The offensive line didn't know what was going on. Oh is right.
Can you imagine?
Nobody knew what was going on.
Your heart stops.
Kelvin Grant has had a lot of drops. 88 is in the game. Whitehurst to Curry again. Over the middle again. It's a couple of times now they've used Aries to pick up a 1st down. Same as the last one. 12 yards.
Well, this looks like the old Charlie Whitehurst tonight, what we're seeing. We've talked with the Clemson people, but one of the things that has hurt Charlie Whitehurst when he's gotten into these games is he's thrown the ball wild over the middle and high. This time, again, Virginia doesn't bring pressure. This time they elect to just bring 4, drop everybody else up. Curry gets separation and gets away from the linebacker.
And both of those are against linebackers. They don't bring a nickel back in, and Clemson's taking advantage of it. 1st down run here out to the 43-yard line. Going to be a pickup of, about 2 yards with Yusef Kelly.
Now, you said they keep the linebackers in. They were able to take advantage of it, and that's what they want. Virginia doesn't believe in a lot of the nickel package or a lot of the dime packages. Their 3-4 scheme they feel is versatile enough, and their linebackers are athletic enough that they're tough and physical against the run, and they're athletic enough to defend the pass. But Clemson, you're right, Mike, with Curry, been able to make him pay for it.
But Mike O'Kane, the offensive coordinator, has devised a plan to put a back on those linebackers, and they can't cover them.
2nd and 7. The tight end is out to the near side, and the penalty marker comes down. This is a stopped play.
Right to the snap, false start, 65, offense, 5 yards.
So before 2nd and long, let's check with Chris Fowler in the studio. Look ahead to halftime. Chris? Thanks, guys. See you in a little bit. 2nd and 12. Whitehurst on the run. Gets out of bounds to the 41. We'll have 3rd and 6 coming up. Pickup of 6 there.
Twice in a row, Mike, they've hit Aries Curry, number 1, in the middle. Now, Kirk, what do you think? You change the coverage if you're outgrow right now. Do something.
Yeah, you probably put a man on him, put a man underneath here.
Yeah.
Let's count how many defensive backs they have on the field this time.
I think 5 now.
Yep.
That's the change it out.
Philip Brown, 22, walking right across the yellow line there for 35. He's in there. We have movement. Let's see if Virginia was induced or they made the mistake. It would make it 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 6. Lemon Williams is the referee. It's going to be on Clemson, and the Tigers coaches are really unhappy.
Nathan Bennett, the right guard. They're unhappy. They can be unhappy with him.
Right to the snap. False start. 72. Offense. 5 yards. 3rd down.
Looked to me like the right guard right over Brooks. Right there.
Yeah. That's Roman Fry, the backup who's in there for Bennett.
Yep.
And what the Clemson guys are saying, it's a bad call because he was induced by Ahmad Brooks simulating the start of a play. And when you watch an NFL game, they use that terminology all the time.
And that's legal, though. Brooks was not wrong. That's good coaching.
3rd and 11. Whitehurst could have some space to throw it. Will he have a receiver? For Curry, incomplete. Curry kept going, didn't come back. Whitehurst threw it where it would have been a 1st down.
Your quarterback starts to get into trouble as a wide receiver. Not only do you have to recognize that, and then Curry's trying, but he's running out of room. But you have to do something to be able to try to find a little bit of a void there. And unfortunately for Clemson, they ran out of space, and Curry had nowhere to go.
So the Tigers will punch it away here with 1:29 to go. Old Chasen. Snaps by Jeff Rigsby tonight, who was much maligned after the poor snap against Georgia Tech that turned that game around. Fair caught inside the 10. Well, we'll see what Virginia does with the final 81 seconds. On the way to the break, the Aflac trivia question. Clemson, 29 in a row against Virginia. 4th longest streak in NCAA history against one team. What team has the longest win streak against another team? Got an idea?
No.
All right. Mastermind of this offense. Over there talking to his receiver, Chancey Stuckey, his quarterback, Charlie Whitehurst, on the communications issues. A couple of times there, they had opportunities to make plays and did not. Clemson only has 1 timeout, so they really can't force Virginia to do much. In the final minute 21, Wally Lundy runs it left out to the 12-yard line.
Mike, but they got to be very careful, Clemson does, not to let up, because we were watching a game, Stanford against USC, just like this. Stanford ran a play up the middle, 89 yards for a touchdown because USC was sitting around
expecting halftime to come.
Expecting halftime. That's why a team like Clemson now cannot let up in this situation.
It's funny because John Lovett, their defensive coordinator, when we talked to him this week, all week it's been finish the play, finish the game. Everything's about finish because they have had some letdowns this year that have hurt them.
We'll have the Aflac trivia answer after this 2nd and 7 play. Lundy running right. He's brought down to 16. Here comes the Aflac trivia answer. Anybody get it here? Longest streak.
I threw out Navy and Notre Dame.
That's good.
Good job.
And you know what?
Right?
You get one of those little Aflac rubber ducks.
Oh, yeah?
You do. You get 3 of them for your 3 boys.
Good job, bud.
Aflac ought to send them 3 of those
Aflac
rubber
sent us
ducks.
2.
I
Sent us 2.
You get 2?
Yeah, I got the
3.
big one and a little.
I got 1.
Zach
Maybe
didn't
there's
get
a
one or
second
what?
on the bottom of the box.
Probably he's going to reach in there. Zach got the little.
Did he? I got nothing. I should give it to my granddaughter.
I'll send you mine. Notre Dame has beaten Navy 40 times in a row. Navy's undefeated. They play next week. Virginia's going to take a knee and take it to the locker room, up 13-10 here at the half. You know that Navy-Notre Dame game next week. What a game you guys had last week, Navy and Air Force.
Oh, boy.
I know Chris enjoyed being with you guys. Wonderful game. Great escape out of the Air Force Academy as well. Back to Denver.
That was well organized.
I think Chris just got back to the studio.
That's right.
He's going to join us in a minute. coach the Home Depot coaching adjustments.
Mike, go to plan B on third down. Plan A is not working. Offensively, keep smoking. On Virginia, I'm telling you, they got to run the ball at Clemson and play action passes to the tight end. But this is the situation now. Go to plan B. Plan A is getting you killed. What is it, 8 for 12, Kirk?
8 of 12 on the game. And I guarantee you right now, they're going to cover well on the back end. Watch out. I think number 18 can scramble.
That's Higgins. He's the quarterback. He's pressured and dumps it out to Wally Lundy. First down and more. Midfield and more. To the 37-yard line. They picked up 24 yards, and Eric Sampson brought him down. A penalty marker down as well. And it might be against Virginia. Let's see where it was. It's downfield, so probably after they picked up the first down. And they'll have it around midfield. So we'll see where the illegal use of hands, probably a downfield push in the back. The flag thrown at the 35, it's probably where it occurred. And here's the call from Fleming Williams, the referee.
Block in the back, 62, offense. 10 yards, and the foul, first down.
It's first down because the play already picked up the first down, then the flag occurred. Higgins now 7 of 7, Lee. Third down passing.
Kirk brought up a good point. Put the pressure on the guy. That's plan A. You cannot pressure Higgins. He's too quick. He gets the ball off the screens. Now here, they're coming like crazy to get him, right? Boom. Play coverage against this guy just one time and see what happens.
From the 47, first and 10. The junior Lundy keeps those feet going to get about 5 yards. In the first 3 games against Temple, North Carolina, and Akron, Wally Lundy had 3 touchdowns per. He now, in 30 games, this is 31st, has 34 career touchdowns. So as a junior, he has a chance to break the record held by Thomas Jones, terrific back here in Virginia. He had 40 in his career, and Lundy's a guy who just does everything well. Pass catching, block, he's complete back.
Talked about this being the northeast of a West Coast offense. Simple run on first and 10. That's going to set up eventually the bootleg with Higgins on the same play action down the road.
McGrew, the receiver, in motion. Lundy gets forward, across the 40 before 3rd and 2. And one of the reasons they were all together, Jill, was he lost both parents as a teen, raised by his grandmother and his brothers. One of his brothers, a top runner at Towson University up the road. Wally may be the best running back of the bunch. Picks up the first down there across the 35.
Well, the reason he's so good in this offense is it's a physical offense, and it's an offense that requires patience from the tailback. And his vision is what separates him from the other backs. The vision in the burst that Wally Lundy has, you don't see that from very many backs in the ACC. This is here he's just showing some toughness, trying to get up in there and pick up the first down.
Elton Brown, number 61, came off the ball and took the man wherever he wanted to go. That was a very good read by Lundy.
From the 35, it's been a steady diet. Wally throws it back to Higgins. Clemson covered it downfield well. He'll put it up top for Michael McGrew anyway, who ran out of room. Incomplete. Clemson was very disciplined. They had 3 defenders back there for the 2 Virginia receivers. Didn't get lulled to sleep by all the run action. Leroy Hill and Charles Bennett up front put on the heat, and Billy in the back had the coverage.
Well, they were disciplined. They just got left. they sat back there, but the speed here of McGrew goes right by Miller. Miller's trying to stay with him. And by the way, Justin Miller might be one of the faster corners you're going to see in college football. McGrew had the angle there, and the quarterback Marcus Higgins was just waiting and waiting for McGrew to clear those defenders until he put it in the air. Just waited a hair too long.
You guys talked about setting up with all those runs to the right. There comes Lundy back up the middle. Not much there. 3rd and long coming up. They're not in field goal range, so Clemson's defense again has to come up big here.
May I make a recommendation?
Sure.
You blitz the corners, you blitz the linebackers, you blitz everybody except you and I and Kirk. Why don't they just, and the guy's killing them, why don't they just one time try to play nice keep everything in front of you, make him throw the football straight, and hopefully you get a deflection. They haven't had a turnover in 46 games, it seems like. Maybe they could do something different here. Plan B. John Lovett, try Plan B, which is to cover and not pressure Hagan.
10 of 14 and 2 of 2 on this drive.
A timeout called here by Virginia. A penalty marker came down in the back. It might be the delay in game before the timeout. Let's see.
Delay of game.
It is.
18, offense. 5 yards.
And it will be 3rd and 14.
One of the few mistakes you'll see Marcus Hagans make.
And this team in general, they only are penalized about 5 times a game. You talk about teams for success. Yeah. One thing this team doesn't do very often is defeat itself.
Yes.
This is the 19th quarter of football Virginia has played. They have turned it over very little. No fumbles, 1 interception. Wow. In 19 quarters, 18 and a half really.
That's a well-coached football team.
3rd and 14. Hagans throws down the middle, first down to the 17-yard line with Deion Williams.
All right, this time they said,
telling you,
we're going to sit back.
Yeah.
We're going to relax. We're going to make Hagans throw it.
Plan B.
Plan B.
Plan B.
He's not going to beat us with his legs.
No.
Make that little guy beat us with his arm. He said, thank you. I've been waiting to throw that dig route all game long.
I say go to Plan C next time. Because A and B are not working. I don't know what Plan C is. This kid Hagans is very, very impressive in the clutch.
The worst part about it is Travis Pugh was sitting in there as a robber, knew the play was coming. He was just 2 or 3 yards behind it. Couldn't catch up with the ball.
Virginia, great in the red zone this year. Heath Miller, tied up, still going. Miller's picking up lots. He's got a lot of them over here. Here comes the tight end, Heath Miller, down to the 11-yard line. That looked like a negative play that became... I don't know if he was thinking about throwing the ball there.
He was. Yeah.
He was. That was supposed to be a pass to Miller. He comes back, he's going to catch it, and then throw the ball. But, Kirk, have you ever seen a big guy run this quick and it's got athletic ability? Let me tell you something. That guy's good.
Yeah, he's 255 pounds. I asked him yesterday. I know you haven't timed a 40 lately, but what do you think you could run? He said, I don't know, 4'6", 4'7", and to be close to 260 pounds with the hands that he has, he's a special player.
4 for the first down, 11 for the touchdown. It is Lundy. Ball came out, and there you go. Their first fumble of the season. And the first turnover Clemson's defense has come up with in 12 quarters.
Ouch. You jinxed them. You just talked about throwing a no-hitter.
I just read the facts. I didn't jinx anybody. She was upset. Yeah, he had his helmet thrown off in there, and he is very upset. And the officials, I think, saw what was going on. That's why they didn't throw a flag on him for being so upset coming out of the pile. What happened here?
There, big hit.
Number 40.
Yep, big hit there.
Anthony Waters, the middle linebacker.
Came in there with his arm to strip the ball.
That old pro style, it's getting more and more in college football that they're using that strip technique. That was a beautiful play by Anthony Waters there.
That was gigantic, guys. That was huge. Clemson gets going. Whitehurst wide open. Chancey Stuckey. He gets a first down out to the 18-yard line. Stuckey was a quarterback. Became a wide receiver. But the big hit there by Waters got that Clemson defense off the field, and they were out there for half the quarter.
Mike, not only is that big because it could be 20-10, because the psychological war that's going on in this football game, Clemson needs something good, something positive to happen, and that could be the big break to keep them in this football game. If they give up that score, I think their will gets killed, and they probably fold their tent.
A run with Dwayne Coleman, caught a touchdown pass in the first half and takes it out to the 22-yard line. There's a lot of chippy stuff going on. They wanted a flag on Nathan Bennett, who probably deserved one. His teammates calm him down.
Oh, man.
The time back. Hey, Nathan.
This is weird. You have to keep your cool. One of the things you just can't afford. That's
should have been a flag. That should have been a flag.
That is stupid.
Undisciplined.
And not good officiating because they're going to lose control of the game if they don't throw these flags soon. 2nd and 6, Wayne Campbell, lost yards. Brendan Schmidt, the defensive end.
The other thing that does when you start getting chippy like that and they don't make the call, the officials don't make the call, all that does is get the defense that much more excited. And how about Schmidt? I mean, he shed his man and got upfield and was sitting there waiting for Coleman. By the time Coleman got the handoff from Whitehurst.
Marcus Weeks made the tackle, and he's a safety.
3rd down, pressure on. Whitehurst dropped. Aries Curry dropped it. This is a team that has dropped 12 passes in the last 3 games. And it's one of those things, do you talk about drops or do you just let them go away and not be in the back of their minds? It'll be on his mind now.
First game, they didn't have any drops. Second game against Georgia Tech, 7 drops. I think it starts to become mental. We've used this analogy. It's like an infielder who makes an error, and all of a sudden, does he think, hit it to me again so I can get over it? Or does he start to worry, oh man, what am I going to do if the ball's hit to me? These receivers look like they're worried about making drops.
Cole Jason kicks it away. Good kick. Pierman backpedals at the 26. Puts on the brakes and kicks it into drive. He's taken down at the 41-yard line. Sergio Gilliam with the tackle, and once again we get a late hit behind the play, and once again we get no flag. Kick 50, return 13. Virginia gets the ball back after Clemson only has run a few plays here in this 3rd quarter, leading 13-10. And we'll be right back here in Charlottesville. The Cavaliers back on the field.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Bacardi Silver Limon Premium Malt Beverage. Flavor your night.
That touchdown by Heath Miller in the 2nd quarter, the latest score, and has put Virginia on top 13-10. It's a Cavalier program back in the top 10 for the first time since 1998. Reliving glory days from the late 80s and early 90s. Alvin Pierman takes over as the running back and out to the 45-yard line to pick up a 4. Great halftime. We had the Temptations entertaining the fans, and this was even better. George Welsh, longtime head coach here at Virginia, very, very successful, given his plaque. He is now a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, and he's standing by on the field with Jill.
Turnaround king, you've led this program back into prominence. They're 4-0 right now. Tell me what it means to you, though, to be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Well, it's a great honor. The most I've ever had, the best I've ever had. And I don't think it's all sunk in yet, so I'm really excited about it, though.
Are you excited about the turnaround that you've seen here? What are the keys to turning programs around? And Virginia has a tough road ahead. What do they need to keep doing?
I think they're doing very well. This is the best Virginia team since probably '98, when we had 9 wins. So I'm pulling for them. It took a lot of hard work, obviously. I had a great supportive family. I think there was a great supportive family. I had a lot of good players now. You know, I've had a lot of good players at Navy and here, and then I had some great people on my staff, and I think that all added up with a lot of hard work.
Did something right. Navy and Virginia undefeated, Mike.
That's right, Jill. Flag comes down as Alvin Pierman tried to knock off a second big run. He took him inside of midfield and down to the 28, but this one's going to come back. What Jill was alluding to, George Welsh, a very successful coach at Navy after being the quarterback at Navy, and a good one at that. And then took a Virginia program from nowhere to be a real strong ACC contender year in, year out. Well, you see it, Lee. 2 winning seasons, 54-81. And after George got here, they were a winning team most every year. 134 wins, most in school history. The holding penalty pushes Virginia back to the 47, and they'll have first down and 20 coming up.
Well, George, you know, played at the United States Naval Academy, you said, as a coach. But then he coached at Penn State. His background really was with Joe Paterno. And then he went to the Naval Academy, turned that program around and turned Virginia. Besides Bill Snyder at Kansas State, I think George Welsh is the second best coach in the history of college football of turning programs around. Bill Snyder's is the best ever, but Welsh is number 2.
Just the turnaround you're talking about.
Turnaround, just a turnaround.
First and 20, Hagan's quick gun there to Deion Williams. We are seeing an emerging receiver here tonight in Williams. That's his 5th catch. He had 7 in the first 4 games. 2nd and 8 coming up.
First and 20. They're going to go back and rely on Hagans again, see if he can become creative with his legs or his arm. This time, Mike, you're right. Williams, I think, is starting to really present himself as a threat and the best threat that they have on the perimeter. But Hagan's quick release, I mean, when he gets back there and he has time to throw, he really can throw it downfield.
Now the swing out to Pierman, delivers the blow at the 35, takes it out to the 32. 3rd and 5 will come up against this Clemson defense that's been on the field a lot here in the 3rd quarter.
I want to say something about the Virginia offensive coaches. Ron Prince is the offensive coordinator. He's 35 years old. Mike Grove is 33. Anthony Poindexter is 28. John Garrett is 39. And Mark Navracchio, they got an average of 34 years old.
You've
on
got
that
usually
offensive.
the AARP coaches. I got the Generation
This is yours.
X. This is Generation X coaches.
These guys are
good.
They are good.
3rd down, Hagan. Look at the gun. Too much gun. Throttle back. Pass is incomplete. And they even have on this staff, by the way, one of the great fullback, Joel Makovica.
Joel right here.
Yeah, the former great Nebraska of the famed Judas Priest touchdown against Oklahoma many years ago. One of the greats. Well, from here, guys, it would be
By the way,
50.
they stopped him on 3rd down.
They did.
How about that?
Plan
They didn't
C.
stop him.
They stopped themselves.
Thank you.
50-yard field goal here for Connor Hughes. His career long is 53. He's made 3 50-plussers in his career. Former high school soccer All-American who works out with a soccer ball pregame to loosen up. Goal from 50 yards. Very comfortably. 16-10. Three and a half to go. I don't know if Virginia is going to be undefeated or have one loss, but November 6th and November 13th, when the Terrapins come down from College Park and when the Canes come in from Miami, this place is going to be just awesome.
This is a great setting for college football.
Did you notice the guys with ties on?
Yeah.
People used to come to the Virginia games. Everybody wore a tie.
Now just the frat guys do it?
No, everybody.
I know, but now is it just the frat guys or what?
I don't know.
Somebody's
Justin Miller from the 1 hit the crease hard and takes it out to the 27. But there's a penalty marker down. There was a little illegal holding on behind the play, and this is going to be a long field for Clemson. Did you see the graphic right at the start of this drive when we came out of break? Clemson's run 32 plays. That's in 42 minutes. Thank you, guys. Mike Schwab, our director, Bo Garrett, our producer, everybody in the truck doing the usual awesome job. 32 plays.
I mean, typically, if you're having a good night, 70 to 80 snaps for an offense. Right now, they're on pace. They'd be lucky to get to 50.
They have 6 first downs.
But the interesting thing is they're only one play away from leading.
One little slip
play.
up. And
Just
old
one.
number 6 can make a play.
That's it. Or number 1. Aries Curry dropped one, but he's still the guy that can win this ball game for him.
But 6 has got to get it to him.
Dwayne Coleman, the running back. Students down this end. Very loud. Steven Jackson, the move man. And Charlie Whitehurst throws to his tight end, Ben Hall. Spilled at the 15. Nice pick up of 7. Hall has had a nice night tonight.
How many times did we hear the word patience from the Clemson coaches? Not only talking about the game plan overall, but just the attitude of the offense. When you face a Virginia defense, let's face it, guys, they don't give up big plays. Their scheme and what they do, they don't give up big runs or big pass plays because they keep everything in front of them. So you have to stay patient. And now with the clock turning almost to the 4th quarter, and see if they're going to be a patient football team.
AARP. Keep everything in front and inside.
Man, they better pay you for as much as you mentioned them. Whitehurst lost the snap. And got it back. Third down coming up. And he is hot right now. Barking there with his center, Tommy Sharp. Former walk-on is in his third year starting. They've had so many turnovers that have been his fault as well. You can't afford one like that.
You can't afford to just give a play. You know what? We wanted to get the third down. Here, we'll just take a knee on. So you can't. On the road with a crowd going ballistic, you just can't do that.
Virginia's got some personnel confusion. They're subbing a little bit more than they had talked about. Bouncing around those three defensive linemen. Whitehurst throws incomplete. What a hit by the Hammer. Ty Parham is called the Hammer by his coach, Al Groh. And this former high school All-American just leveled a big blow to force a 3-and-out.
You know, we've seen Virginia do a lot of different things on third down. This time, Mike, you talked about the personnel change. They rushed 3 guys. They dropped 8. It was a different look, and it could have squeezed it in there. It would have been a great catch, but Brooks and Parham, the combination of the two, tough for a little guy like Curry to hold on to the ball.
Remember, Clemson shot himself in the foot with their quarterback-center exchange problem.
Old Jason, the punter, doesn't hit the best one of the night. He's been good most of the night. This one goes out of bounds. In Clemson territory, Virginia's going to take over at the Tiger 43. And then you'll have LSU, Florida, available on ESPN HD. Best weekend of the season, and we'll be with you morning, noon, and night on the family of networks.
Starts with College Game Day at 10:30 Eastern. This is one of those Saturdays you sit up back on the Home Depot bus and just watch as many games as you can.
Big run. All the way, Pierman to the 22. Almost had it all. So after Wally Lundy ran it well, then fumbled, Pierman has come in the last couple of drives, and a guy who's had to become a utility man has shown his running ability. 20 yards here.
Well, it's a nice change of pace, and again, look at the lineman. Look at the lineman getting out in front, and a good job of Pierman. Instead of bouncing it to the outside, seeing the hole, and cutting it up to the middle, and a big block by the center, Yarborough, to pin his man.
Again, it's Pierman one more time, and he stopped this time. 4 no gains. We tumble through towards the final minute of the third quarter with Virginia leading 16-10.
Let me give you one stat that tells you what kind of football team Virginia is offensively running it. They've averaged over 225 yards rushing every game. They only had 3 200-yard rushing games last year. Only 3. That's how much that line has improved, and Lundy has improved, and Pierman has improved. Boy, they're a good-looking football team when it comes to running the football.
I think the athletes across the board there on that offensive line, one of the most impressive lines we've seen all year.
Hagan's pass is knocked down. Good job. It was Groover again, one of the defensive tackles. He has come in and done a nice job here in the second half, along with Gaines Adams, the backup defensive end. 93-7, forced third down.
We talked about this earlier, Lee, and you just touched on it, the experience. How important a factor that is in college football when some teams are trying to break in, freshmen up front, redshirt sophomore, guys trying to make their first starts. With Virginia, you've got 126 games combined as far as career starts across the board. That helps out when you have great running backs.
Remember, last third down, Higgins threw the ball into the end zone. Let him.
Screen this time for Pierman. Picked up blocks. The 15, at the 10. Still going at the 5. First and goal. Elton Brown, the best blocker in the ACC last year, on his way to that award again this year. Man, did he throw a good one there. And his mom likes it. Big E's mom.
Elton Brown made a big block, but again, watch the center, 75, Yarborough, get out and get to his man, which frees up the big running lane. Elton Brown is out there, the whole right side. That wasn't, you didn't even have to sell that as a screen. That was almost like a sweep.
Yep.
Just a little flip out there, and the big blocks by these linemen.
Elton Brown took out everybody. First and goal from the 4. This will be a backbreaker. The third quarter ends with Pierman at the 2. So Clemson has been on the ropes here all game. They barely had the ball in the third quarter. And they only ran 7 plays in the third quarter. Virginia's run 26 more. The lead is only 6, but the offensive line is starting to wear them down. It is quarter number 4 for Big E and company. Tommy Bowden's team trying to avoid number 4, like a 4th consecutive loss. Off we go to the 4th quarter here from Charlottesville. Our game available tonight, as it is on every Thursday, on ESPN HD. Bill Phillips and Best Buy. With Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Jill Arrington, Mike Tirico. Virginia's dominated the game and scored the last 13 points. Going for a big score here on 2nd and goal to start the 4th. It is Alvin Pierman. It is the corner. It is touchdown. Brown's mom happy. Elton Brown's coach happy. His running backs happy. Big old senior offensive lineman along with Butler, Yarborough, Bartholomew, and Ferguson. What an offensive line crew. Make it 22-10. Connor Hughes is going to add the extra point. And make it 23-10. But one thing, we talk about the atmosphere in here throughout the games. When they score a touchdown, this new band that wasn't here until Al Groh got them all fired up, gets going. And so is the crowd. Watch and enjoy this. On its way to 5-0 here tonight.
Alvin Pierman has wonderful speed. It's nice blocking on the line, but right here is speed. There he goes.
Elton Brown makes a big block, and once he watch it. How do you like to run behind this? He is athletic for his size. Look at him push guys, and he pounded Maurice Fountain into another Clemson defender. And by the time they had Ty Hill trying to slide through there, or actually Leroy Hill trying to slide through there, Pierman had too much speed to get to the corner. This offensive line, as a group, not only the experience but the athletic ability to allow them to pull and get out on the corner to help this running game be very effective.
There you see Elton Brown's mom. I mentioned earlier he won the award as the best blocker in the ACC. That was voted by the defensive coordinators around the league last year, and it came after he was voted 2nd team All-ACC. He was bumming about that, but feeling good after he received another award, blocking for Pierman and for Wally Lundy, who talks about maybe one of the best guards in all of the land. Pretty good guy to have leading the way, and as Kirk has been mentioning, the other linemen deserve just as much credit, but this is one signaled out by the people who know, the defensive coordinators who have to prepare for people every week and say this guy is the best blocker in the league, won the Jacobs Award last year and could do it again. Clemson's got to do something, got to do it quick. From the 20, Whitehurst. Long throw, nice catch, Curry, pick up a 7, 2nd and 3 coming up. Here's Jim. Paging Elton Brown. Pete Gillen, the basketball coach here in Virginia. Great new building being constructed, too. Yusuf Kelly runs it in the hole, takes it out to the 34-yard line. You know, guys, we talk so often about one team dominating the other. And you look back and say, well, Clemson's only run 7 plays. Virginia's been dominant. Virginia's defense has allowed the Virginia offensive line to wear Clemson down. So there's really been a team effort here tonight.
Virginia's defense, the entire game, best word to describe their effort, suffocating. Everything they have done, they seem to be in the right place at the right time and putting a lot of pressure on Whitehurst.
This is 1st and 10 for Whitehurst, who runs out of space back there, but able to complete it to Ben Hall again. Tight end has been the most dependable guy for number 6, able to take it out to the 40-yard line. Kirk, you talked about words. Al Groh uses so many words and sayings that are Bill Parcells sayings, 10 years around Parcells with Bill Belichick as well. I love the way he describes defensive football. He was a defensive coordinator for so long. He says it's all a game of space, man. As an offense, you're trying to create it. As a defense, you're trying to restrict it. It's great packaging of the concept, and he's got linebackers who can restrict some space on you real quick. 2nd and 4 for Whitehurst. And the junior quarterback loads up and gets rid of the ball. He's done a lot more of that this year, about a dozen times, 19 times now. He's just throwing the ball away to avoid a bad play.
We're talking about Al Groh. He came up the hard way. He coached offense, defense, and special teams in college and the pros, and that's why he has a really good background. But this is his down. 3rd down and long. He calls the defenses and develops the packages during the week.
Clemson has picked up a 1st down 3 out of 10 times on 3rd down. This is one of the shorter ones. Pressure came off the edge, but complete to Curry for a 1st down at the 46-yard line. Marcus Hamilton made the tackle.
When they get to 3rd down, they're looking up for number 1, Aries Curry. This time he just sit right down there. He almost took himself over to the corner who was sitting up in the flat, but he did a good job, Charlie Whitehurst did, of putting the ball right where the receiver could make the play and away from the defender for the 1st. Curry almost took himself right over to the Virginia corner, but the ball brought him back to the middle of the field.
And the corner did a nice job of peeling off his route, too, when the ball was released. Skycam shows you the setup as Whitehurst does token play action, is tripped up, through it, and a penalty marker will not come down for intentional grounding. He got rid of it. I didn't see if there was anybody in the area, and I couldn't see if the ball came across the line of scrimmage, which was the 46.
Well, pressure comes from the outside right here. Good containment by number 45, Dennis Haley right there. Really good containment.
Schmidt, 96, has been getting by his man and really causing Charlie Whitehurst to try to chase himself, get himself to the outside, but Haley did contain him. But Schmidt, 1st person to get in.
And that was a correct call. Yes. He was out of the tackle box. The ball went across the line of scrimmage. Fans unhappy with it. It was the correct call, but you got the same effect anyway. Because the defense, Andrew Hoffman and Brennan Schmidt, all the big fellas met back there at the quarterback, and a big loss will set up 3rd and very long.
Considering their leader, Chris Canny, is out and he had a devastating injury, they've tried to move on without him. And I tell you, the two who have been in there before, Schmidt and Hoffman, have done a really good job tonight of picking up the slack emotionally and doing a good job for this defense.
Canty tore a knee ligament at the end of the game against Syracuse. Out the rest of the season. Whitehurst throws. Intercepted. Tony Franklin, the corner, out of Cleveland. First turnover of the night. 11th interception thrown by Whitehurst on the season. And Kirk hit it, suffocating. The job done by the Virginia defense here tonight. Back here in Charlottesville, Virginia looking to get to 5-0. Continue its solid performance here at home. They've won 14 of their last 15. The only loss in that stretch to Florida State by 5. They go to Florida State next Saturday night. Heath Miller, the tight end, to catch. Took it across the 45 to the 47. Let's go back and watch the interception on the last possession.
These Clemson receivers, it looks like right there, Stuckey comes up a little bit lame, but I think that's on Charlie Whitehurst. He has struggled at times this year putting the ball into coverage with all these turnovers. That time, I don't think he read the coverage right.
I think head coach Al Groh ought to give assistant coach Al Groh a raise because 3rd down defense has been sensational tonight.
That was the first turnover of the night for Whitehurst. He has most of them this year. Pierman runs it across midfield and out to the 44-yard line. You know, one of the advantages of Al Groh being the head coach here is attracting talent, because this guy has Super Bowl ring. He's been around 2 of the guys who are the highest respected coaches in professional football, in Bill Belichick and, of course, Bill Parcells. And that NFL experience allows him to send a different message to players. Alvin Pierman, the running back, has been told, hey, versatility is your ticket to the next level. And you've seen Pierman tonight catching punts, as a pass catcher. He was a wide receiver, as Kirk mentioned, on very short notice last week. And it's because Al Groh can say, hey, I was with the Giants at LT when we won the Super Bowl in '91. Then went up to the Patriots, had all those great linebackers. I was there when Ben Coates was playing there. Then went to the Jets, where not only was I the linebacker coach with Parcells, but then when Bill left and Bill Belichick held the job for a day and then checked out, I took over the Jets, won 9 games, and then Curtis Martin is one of my running backs. So I understand what it takes for you to get to the next level. And he does it with a great respect, and the players really have rallied around it. A drop there by the fullback, Brandon Isaiah, who hasn't touched the ball yet tonight. The grad student from Winston-Salem couldn't hold on.
And let's face it, I mean, these 18-year-old kids are being recruited by all these great schools. Of course, they want to get an education, but 99 to 100% of these guys have aspirations and dreams of making it to the NFL. And if they feel that there's a coach that can help them get to the next level and understands what it takes to get to the next level, I think that's why the recruiting has gone so well for the last 3 or 4 years for Virginia and Al Groh.
Terrific on third down tonight. They'll run here with Pearman, who finds a seam. But depending on the mark, he fell short of the yellow line. The headlinesman was tripped up on the way in trying to spot the ball. So we'll probably have to measure it and check out what's going on here. Measurement here. Just want to remind those of you, as you're watching our game tonight, also have a game on ESPN2 simultaneously. Southern Miss and Houston, they are going to overtime down in Hattiesburg. Houston has rallied there as that game's 29-29. We'll permit you to check on that game, but come back, because you never know what Corso will say in the last 5 minutes of this one.
All right.
First down.
I got something to say. We're talking about Groh and Groh. He's a great coach, but he's got wonderful assistant coaches. And one of the best in the nation is this guy right here, Ron Prince, former offensive line coach at Cornell, 35 years old. He got the offensive coordinator's job in February this year. He's the offensive line coach that we have been talking about, these linemen. Well, they got to have one hell of a coach coaching them. Yep. And that guy right there, Al Groh told me, is going to be a future head football coach somewhere. Remember his name now, Ron Prince.
And the reason he's important to this offense, you touched on the offensive line. That really, in essence, is what this offense is about. But all these young coaches that are so good, assistant and coordinators, usually it's a defensive guy. Here's one of the young up-and-coming offensive coaches around the entire nation.
Pearman 9 more. Boy, his stats are building up, aren't they? Lundy ran it 20 times for 85 yards. And behind the offensive line, coached by Ron Prince, Pearman's 12 carries, approaching 80 as well.
Almost every play, you're seeing a center and a guard pull around, and it's usually Elton Brown and the center, Zach Yarborough, and they're always pushing people out of the way. And if they're not, they get in the way of these linebackers and these corners and safeties so well that these backs just hide in right behind them, and then by the time this defense tries to react, they're by it.
125 total yards on 14 touches from scrimmage tonight for Pearman. 2nd and 1, they're wearing Clemson down. First down at the 20 with Pearman. The senior, I mentioned, he played wide receiver on 36 hours notice. Fontel Mines, one of their receivers, injured his collarbone. And one of the things you always see in the NFL, because of your limited roster size, is versatility. So Al Groh spent a couple of days during the preseason working guys in certain places. Pearman out at wide receiver, among other things. And so on 36 hours notice, when the injury came up, Pearman had to spend all his time with John Garrett, the wide receiver coach, get up to speed, and he came in and played as well as you could, considering the circumstances.
That foundation from camp in August enabled him to do that.
From the 20, another 6 yards for Pearman.
This offensive line, and as a group, I don't think I've ever seen as much experience and as much athletic ability across the board, and definitely not this year, in all of college football, in my opinion. And there's some good ones out there.
Yep.
But these guys, and it's because they have to pull. I mean, have you ever seen a center pull 15 or 20 times in one football game?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Florida State's watching this football game at home, and I know they are, a week from Saturday, these guys are coming into Tallahassee to test your manhood. And it's going to be that offensive line against you defensive linemen from Knowles.
It's the 9-day early call out.
See, then it sets up the bootleg.
For Higgins, who puts on the brakes, takes off. Going to be stopped a couple of yards shy of the first down. Jamal Fudge that time able to get him. Remember earlier, Fudge couldn't knock him down, and Hagens picked up an important first down.
And Ron Prince and Al Groh told us when we recruit offensive linemen, a lot of times they're tight ends or defensive ends in high school, 6'5", 250 or 260. That's the type. They don't care what all the magazines say, who the best linemen are. The 350-pound high school player. They look for the guys who are undersized, who have long arms, and who can run and move their feet. And that's why they're able to run this kind of offense with these great linemen.
3 for a first down, 13 for a touchdown. It's another third down. It's another third down conversion with Pearman out to the 8-yard line.
And I don't want to put a damper on Virginia's fans out there,
yeah, well,
but this is not one of the great defensive teams in American football playing on defense.
They'll see that next Saturday.
A week from Saturday, you will find out if this football team, Virginia, is a good football team, because they're playing a real good football team in Tallahassee, away from here. And especially defensive linemen who will hit you and knock your head off.
And linebackers.
And backs.
Little scare there for DeBrickashaw Ferguson, the offensive tackle, as Pearman was sent into the air. He got Ferguson's left leg pinned a little bit, so Ferguson has come out, and the freshman Eddie Pinnigus has come in.
In fact, that will be the week that we find out if Virginia is for real.
Yep.
First and goal. It is Pearman again. Spun down by Leroy Hill. Told you Al Groh said, wish you had that guy. He's wearing 43. What a great number in Clemson history. Keith Adams, so many tackles. And Terry Kennard, of course, one of the college football greats. For these running backs tonight, 35 carries, almost 180 yards, about 5 a pop out of your tailback. And does you well most nights.
And the interesting guy coaching him, and Anthony Poindexter, one of the best football players I've seen ever play in Virginia. Wasn't he a good player? Oh, he's the coach here now. Young guy.
What is it? Wasn't he the safety on that great Virginia team with Tiki Barber and those guys?
I'm telling you, 28 years old too.
Second and goal. Pearman at the 4-yard line. You talk about Florida State, talk about Virginia. One of probably right up there with the Louisville-Florida State game. One of the other best moments in the 13 years now of Thursday Night Football on ESPN, when Virginia played Florida State in here, and Florida State was the undefeated king of the ACC, and Virginia finally handed them a first conference loss. Warwick Dunn took the direct snap right down here in the end zone.
A controversial play, I might call.
Good call. Good call.
Some people say he scored.
I think he was short.
No, he did.
Replays will show he was short. You still crying about that?
Another third and goal. If they pick it up, it'll be a touchdown. A throw from Miller. Did he get his feet in? No, incomplete. That might be offensive pass interference, too. We'll see. We're working on Justin Miller. These guys may be playing at the next level against one another, each other someday. Let's see. Who's that called on? Clemson. Miller on Miller. And it was Justin that time.
How often do you see a 255-pound tight end going up against one of the best corners in a league? That
wasn't pass interference, by the way.
No, if anything, it's a little bit of a push.
It'll be first and goal at the 1.
Justin Miller didn't push at all.
Well, you've got to say one thing about Tommy Bowden and Clemson. They were a huge underdog tonight, but boy, they come out well coached, come out smoking, did a great job, got ahead, and then talent took over. There's no question he didn't get out coached tonight. I know that feeling. You don't get out coached sometimes, but boy, I'm telling you, sometimes the other guys get better players than you do.
4 cracks here from the 2. It only takes 1 for Pearman. He deserves a touchdown. He's been so good in the second half, and this offensive line deserved a rushing touchdown as well. Alvin Pearman's 4th rushing touchdown on the season. We're going to talk about those big games over the weekend when we come back. Get a little early feel for what the guys are thinking in the biggest Saturday of the season. Talk to a couple of Virginia greats as well. Great performance by the Cavaliers. They lead by 20 with 5:14 to go.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by Singular Wireless.
We mentioned what a great area this is, not just the university ground. You have Monticello there as well, not too far from here at the stadium. Think about all the things around this area. Your drive from Washington, D.C. down here, you pass so many beautiful horse farms, and great Civil War historical landmarks as well. This is just a beautiful area of the country, especially this time of the year. Clemson will take over from its own 20. When we come back, we'll see if they can cut into the 20-point margin, and we'll look ahead to the biggest weekend of the season. We'll be right back. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires. Virginia has scored 27 unanswered points to take a 30-10 lead with 5:14 remaining until we send to the Sports Center. Charlie Whitehurst passed to his tailback Dwayne Coleman out of bounds at the 23. Well, Clemson had won 29 in a row in this series, the fourth longest in NCAA history until 1990. That's Virginia in the white, Clemson in the orange. Or Virginia in the orange, Clemson in the white. Get it right. Sean Moore was the quarterback of that Cavalier team. They won the ACC in '89, finished second in '90, but came away with the victory over Clemson when the Tigers were ranked number 9 in the land. Virginia has that distinction here tonight.
You know, even when we went up against them during my time, it was a tough, and then now it's a tough fight.
What kind of advice have you given Marcus in leading this team to the 4-0 start?
You know, I had the opportunity to talk to Marcus this summer, and I just told him there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being the quarterback at the University of Virginia, and if he's going to be a leader, he's got to take that responsibility on.
Now, Chris Slade, you know a lot about Coach Al Groh. You played for him as a Patriot. Do you think he fits in well here at Virginia?
Yeah, I definitely think he does. I think that he's done a great job here so far with the team. And I got a chance to play for him in New England for 4 years, and I think he's a great coach. I think he's very complex, but at the same time, he keeps his game plan pretty simple. And they're doing things to win football games. So they're running the ball well, and they're playing great defense.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the game. You're back at your alma mater. Have fun. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. Like the coach back at his alma mater as well. We saw a first down picked up by Aries Curry. Now a 5-yard false start penalty. It'll be first and 15 coming up.
False start, 64. Offense, 5 yards. First down.
Those were good Virginia teams. Sean Moore, Herman Moore, great
Terry
receiver.
Kirby.
Yep, the running back. good teams. And Chris Slade had a very good career in the NFL as well.
Stud, Chris Slade.
Right.
Oh, God. Great career.
I like so many Virginia athletes. So well-spoken, so great representing their school. That was almost a pick six for Dennis Haley. The pressure came from another one of the outside linebackers, Darrell Blackstock and Ahmad Brooks, and the linebackers just all over the map here right now.
You know, we talked to Al Groh yesterday. I asked Al, you know, you were with the Jets and you had this pro job in New York, etc. What made you come to Virginia? And he told me that the president, John Castine, came up to him and said, I'm looking for a coach that wants to win a national championship. And he said, whoa, that's a kind of guy I want to work for. That's why he came to Virginia. Right there, because of that president.
Second and 15 for Whitehurst. Throws it to Coleman. Only gets out to the 33. Let me remind you that Sports Center is around the corner with Stuart Scott and Susie Colbert. Preview this big college football weekend we'll talk about in a minute. The baseball playoffs and postgame, and the Jamal Lewis story making national news right up the road here in Baltimore. Susie will be heading to Baltimore for Washington and Baltimore, our ESPN Sunday night game. And a hello and a welcome back to our friend Mike Patrick. Mike, after the heart surgery, one of the best. Mike has called so many great ACC games, football and basketball over the years. Pass to Yusuf Kelly there, a couple of yards shy of the first down. Well, a fourth down coming up. It'd be great to hear Mike back with Joe and Paul and Suze on Sunday night.
You talked about we're going to find out a week from Saturday
right.
about this Virginia offense. One thing that we know, the Virginia defense will fit in very well into Tallahassee when they walk in there with these linebackers and this secondary. I don't think they're going to be intimidated by Florida State's offense.
You mean they'll pass the Greyhound test when they get off the bus?
Get off the bus. I think the people at Tallahassee say, yep.
Got a game?
These guys can make it interesting.
A low snap there. Nice job, able to get rid of it. The punter. And Chasen's kick is fair, caught by Pierman back at the 18. 2:53 to go till we wrap up the whole day and set the table for the weekend Sports Center. And as promised, as advertised, the much in demand Lee and Kirk preview of the weekend is around the corner. Boy, we have held the viewers. Be right back. Virginia leading here by 20. We'd like to welcome back those of you who flipped over to ESPN2 to watch the end of Houston Southern Miss and Jeff Bauer's team getting the win in its home opener because of the hurricane and all the other scheduling. 35-29 over Art Briles' Houston squad, which is bounced back after that game. We saw them against Miami. Speaking of which, next Thursday night we'll be in the big building in Little Havana to watch Miami and Louisville. A couple of undefeateds go head-to-head. Pierman to carry there for 4. That is next week's big one, or one of the big ones. Bunch of big ones this week. I think headlined by the noon ABC game, Texas-Oklahoma. You guys are going out for Cal-USC for College Game Day. We'll start with that game, Cal-USC. The second one there on the list. Obviously, the loss last year. You got to think USC has just been waiting all 364 days to get there.
2 words, my favorites: urgency and redemption. USC has got those 2 words going.
I've got 2 words for you.
Okay.
Reggie Bush. Ooh. That's it. Both teams are so even. The one guy who could be a difference maker in many different ways could be Reggie Bush. But I think Cal's going to score on SC.
Michael Johnson, the speedy running back, as Pierman came out. Now, by the way, Pierman left with 103 yards, his 4th career 100-yard game, and now Johnson in there. Obviously, we have to talk about Texas and OU. We know the story. Mack Brown has not gotten it done against Oklahoma. Obviously, they've been great Oklahoma teams.
Wait a minute, I don't think that's right. Mack Brown beat Oklahoma. He beat him the first year.
The first year. Right.
Thank you. So that thing's wrong. Whoever did that was wrong.
Okay, thanks for pointing that out.
No, it is.
Okay, all right.
He's lost 4 in a row.
Right.
But he has beaten Oklahoma.
There you go.
Thank you.
My thought is coach to win, play to win. Talking about Texas. Sometimes it seems like they go into this game playing not to lose, coaching not to lose. They've got to match Bob Stoops' attitude. Bob Stoops is going to play to win. He's going to coach to win. I think it's up to Texas and really Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator for Texas, to call the game and let his athletes make plays.
Remember one thing, though, about Texas. They got 2 chances, Slim and none.
Okay.
But I'm looking at that Slim this year.
Slim.
I'm telling you, I like Slim.
You can see the anguish of tonight on the face there of Tommy Bowden. His team played well.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't really play very poorly, but offensively they could get nothing going against this Virginia team. They ran 15 plays in the second half, never got it across midfield. And now we're going to be looking at 4 losses in a row for the first time since back in 1971.
Mike, 4 losses in a row. They get Utah State non-conference game next week. Then you look at Maryland, North Carolina State, at Miami, and then at Duke, and then South Carolina.
Yep.
They're at 1-4 right now. You can make a pretty strong case that these next few weeks are going to be very tough for them to try to get to 3 or 4 wins.
Let's take this Virginia football team, top 10 team, right? Their opponents together have won 8 and lost 16. They have not played a good football team yet. They will play one a week from Saturday. The only reason I bring that up, you will find out about how good Virginia is when they get the Knowles in Tallahassee.
3 of the next 4 weeks at Florida State, Maryland, and then Miami. We're going to find out in a hurry. How good Virginia is.
Those last 2 games will be played here. Penalty marker down as Higgins was scrambling. Our Wrangler players of the game was given to the Cavalier offensive line. Responsible for those good numbers there. 459 total yards. I think Higgins was sacked once, and that was it. They did a very good job clearing space. Elton Brown and company, they get our Wrangler Player of the Game, or Players of the Game award.
Well deserved.
Yes, sir.
This guy's been jumping rope and getting their feet quick. These guys are athletic.
So So next Saturday night on ESPN, that'll be the primetime game. Clemson, or rather Florida State, hosting Virginia. Ron, Mike, and Aaron will have that 7:45 Eastern. So that's next week. Great lineup this week as well. And Stuart and Susie seconds away on SportsCenter.
On the record, who do you guys like to get to the World Series? Real quick, Mike. Real quick, who do you like?
Cardinal Sox.
Cardinal Sox, yeah. I like that. What do you got?
No comment.
No comment?
Nope.
I'm going
I'm working
Cardinals.
football. I can't
I'm going Cardinals. Man, I don't know.
I'd
say Red
Are you going to ask anything about the election, about the debate?
Yeah.
The vice president?
What do you think of that?
I got one on the vice presidential debate.
Do you know
John Edwards, Senator Edwards, then known as Johnny Edwards, walked on at Clemson.
Exactly.
Did he?
Yeah, only for a year, part of the freshman team.
Did you know that George Bush ran over here? George W. Bush ran around the campus.
At Clemson.
At Clemson. Did you see that?
Not here.
George Bush Sr., 41st president of the U.S., was on the baseball team at Yale that beat Clemson in the NCAAs back 5.5 decades ago.
See, now you're digging deep.
You're killing us.
You're deep now.
Killing us.
That's enough.
I mean, that's enough research. You got to get a life.
You got a ball game Saturday, right? We're going out to Cal USC in the Coliseum. We're fired up. College game day. What do you got?
Wake up.
Maryland, Georgia Tech.
There you go.
I'm driving up the road right now. Please keep 29 clear.
Good to see you,
Looking forward to it. Good to be back with you guys.
Welcome home.
Virginia wins by 20. They are 5-0. They had 464 total yards, and their defense was dominant tonight.